Hello and welcome to another update video about ADA. Right, ADA is doing at the moment what we wanted to see, so quite pleased with that. We've re-entered our green support area. We're following the micro count here nicely, and I think in the previous video we were waiting for another low in the wave 5, which also happened. So we're waiting to see if the overall correction could be over, but I'm already warning that this type of pattern that we currently see there typically leads to a pretty long wave 5, so further downside is still possible, and I'm eyeing the 30.6 cent level, which is the 61.8 retracement. We're currently looking at this wave 2 for ADA, and we're talking about the wave 2 as an ABC structure, and this is the correction for the impulsive wave which occurred between December and February. Yeah, move up very impulsively all the way up to around about 41 cents, and then here this ABC structure. The C wave is an impulsive structure in this case and consists of 5 waves, and you can see the 5th wave is already one of the longest waves here. I mean, wave 3 is even longer, but wave 5 extends out quite a bit. Important was that in this current correction, which we call a wave 2, that the wave 2 reaches a minimum of the 50% retracement of the wave 1. Now, as you can clearly see, we did that. That was the 32.65 cent level. There is no rule that wave 2 needs to reach the 50% FIB level. However, it is a level that I want to see. I did post it on Twitter I think a week ago or so, where I said, look, I don't want to chase the market. I want to let the market come to me. And if the market doesn't come to me, I'm not going to touch that trade. I'm not going to, because I don't trust it then. So that's what I mean. I've got my standards, and I say before buying into a pullback for a wave 2, at least in most cases, I would like to see the market come back to at least the 50% FIB level. Now, does it mean I buy everything, the entire position of ADA that I want to enter here? Does it mean I throw all of the money in at the 50% retracement? No, of course not. You buy in batches. At least that's what a pullback trader does. At least that's what I do. Now, in this particular case, I'm not buying ADA because I already have quite a bit of ADA. And my portfolio is a bit of, has got a bit too much ADA exposure. So that's the other thing that I always mention, that, you have your portfolio, you've got your exposure. There is more to trading than up and down. Don't think about markets in such a simplistic way. There is much more to it. Your past trading decisions, your portfolio exposure, and so on. But, it would typically mean buying in batches. Yeah. So it's throughout this range, but it's basically what a grid bot does as well. A lot of people don't understand the concept of a grid bot. But if you trade this range, if you trade the range from 27.65 all the way up to 42 cents with a grid bot, the grid bot would be scaling in here. Yeah, it is scaling in, and it will scale out and take profits along the way, basically. Yeah, in a very simplistic way. So yeah, it's scaling in. Don't throw all of your money in, because it can still go lower, right? And that's the point here I want to make. We have done what we want to see. So ADA has followed the forecast. Yesterday I highlighted here possible wave 3, done. Wave 4, done. And we were waiting for one more low in a 5th wave, done. I can't remember, did we already have that in the last video? Maybe. I don't think so. And now we need to be watching. We've got certainly 5 waves down complete. This could be an expanding diagonal here. Yeah, it's not entirely clear to me, but it could be an expanding diagonal, this 5th wave. In an expanding diagonal, the 5th wave is typically the longest one, longer than the 3rd. Okay. Important is that the 3rd is not the shortest, which it isn't. So further downside still possible in this 5th wave. Yeah, until we see an impulsive structure to the upside that breaks above the yellow trend line, which would basically go along with breaking above the orange one here, which is sort of very loosely defined here, of that expanding diagonal. but breaking above these trend lines would be a very strong indication that a bottom has been reached. Now, so far, we haven't seen that, okay? And also what I would want to see afterwards is a break above the red resistance at 34.5 cents. These are the things I want to see. Until then, we have to give preference to the trend, which currently is still down, still following nicely that yellow trend line. Pullback trades also work the other way around as shorts. I mean, when I show you this trend line, I mean, I've been showing you this trend line now for such a long time, yeah, and it's been following it nicely, you know, and pullbacks to the trend line from below can also be short trades, okay? Now, at some point, it's not going to be profitable anymore, especially if we are already now in a support area. But yeah, that's sort of where we are currently here with ADA. Still further downside possible. And if we go down lower, I'd be looking at the 30.6 cent level. I think that's a very, very likely one for it to at least test. And then we need to be watching that level. There's no guarantee we are going to reverse there. In fact, we could even reverse earlier. We are now in the larger support area. The point is we need to wait for that signal, that breakout above the channel. Yeah, okay. And that is my update for ADA. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.